Day.
And I'm Richard Day.
We're both chiropractors.
We've been in practice together for 11 years.
Married for 10.
With 3 beautiful little girls.
We know it's possible to have an exceptional practice that's built around your life.
Because we've done it.
So we've created this podcast,
the Lifestyle Practice Builders Podcast.
We'll interview chiropractors, answer questions, and bring you resources to help build and grow your practice.
So let's get this party started.
Welcome back to the Lifestyle Practice Builders Podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Haley Day, and today is a fun day. I am going to start a series that's going to last over the next 5 weeks for those of you wanting to start your own practice. Or if you've recently started your own practice and you're looking to create a little bit of a stronger foundation in your business, then please stay tuned. For the next 5 weeks, we're going to go over these. I'm going to be covering the 5 things you must know before starting a practice. But I will also give tips to those of you already in practice or those of you practicing as associates that may be preparing to go out on your own. These 5 things I'll be covering are fundamental elements to really any business. So stay tuned, follow along as we build your knowledge and continue to build on the successful vision you have for your future chiropractic self. If you haven't already listened to episode number 154 about having a vision for your future, then you might want to start there, because regardless of where you're at in life, having a clear vision is an extremely powerful tool you need in order to achieve the results you want out of life. One of my favorite books by Brendon Burchard is High Performance Habits. I think you can listen to it on his High Performance Habits podcast. If you need the link, send me a DM and I'll see if I can find it for you. But he had the whole audio book on his podcast. It's also a good book to buy. I own it, and I've talked to several of you that also own it, and it's good. But his first one that he talks about, I believe, is clarity. And so how important it is to have that clarity of what you're looking to do in life. And without a vision, you will not be able to bring the 5 elements that I'm going to talk about together to build your strong foundation. And if you'd like to get ahead of the game, you can go to our website, lifestylepracticebuilders.com, and download the 5 things you must know before starting a practice ebook that's right there on the front page. I've put it together as a guide for the next 5 weeks. You can also visit lifestylepracticebuilders.com/ebook and enter your info, and we'll email the ebook to you. I will go into a lot greater detail about each of the things on the podcast, so keep listening. But downloading the book is going to get you started. You can print it out and start taking some notes as you follow along. And taking the leap from student or chiropractic associate to small business owner is huge. It's going to be a huge change for most of you. Some of you may have not even ever had a job. And so going from being a student to actually owning your own business is going to be a big step. There's so much to know, and it gets overwhelming thinking about all the steps in order to create a business, find the location, and to get open. There's so many details to each part of that, and so many unknowns, so many steps to truly fulfilling all those dreams that you have of owning your own clinic. And that's why we created this podcast series for you. We were once in your shoes, and we know what it's like to feel lost in a sea of all of that information. We want to help you guys by clarifying some of the key concepts you'll need to understand before making that transition from being a student to owning your own business. And the more you know, the better off you'll be in practice and fully understanding the elements that I'm going to talk about over the next 5 weeks and how they affect your future practice will lead to your future success. So let's add some success tools to your toolbox. The first and one of the most valuable elements to succeeding at this whole thing and building your own successful business is mindset. And according to Stanford psychologist Carol Dweck, your beliefs play a pivotal role in what you want and whether you're going to achieve it. Dweck has found that it is your mindset that plays a significant role in determining achievement and success. So are you ready to conquer the world? Are you willing to put in the time and the effort it's going to take to learn all the things, implement all the processes, and withstand all of the trials and tribulations of starting and growing your first practice? What has been your story so far? That's going to tell a lot about kind of where you're going. Are you the type that can fall down several times and get back up? Do you actually take time to learn the nitty-gritty details and not just skim skim over important details with a hope and a dream of somehow winning without putting in the effort. I think we all know people who do that. But do you dot your I's and cross your T's instead of being sloppy and careless in the fight to get things done right? So if you answered yes to these questions, then you're certainly on the right path as far as mindset's concerned. There's going to be some struggle along the way, so you'll need to be resourceful and resilient as you work towards your goals. And hopefully those are things that your parents have been instilling in you from day one. It's something that we really work on with our girls, to be resourceful, use the tools that they have to figure things out, and be resilient to keep trying and pushing through those walls as they're presented to you. You need to be clear on who you are, what you want, and the process it's going to take to get there. Since you're taking the time to listen to the podcast, I'm going to assume you're someone who's already on the right track. But don't blow off mindset just yet, because there's always room for improvement. So be open for how you can boost these mindset areas in your life that I'm about to talk about today. The first one is daily habits. It's something we talk about a lot. And are you someone who has good habits? Are you a leader when it comes to self-care and health? Because your patients are going to need to buy into who you are as a person before they're going to listen to what you have to say about their condition and their care plan. And if you don't come off as someone who is being a leader and taking care of yourself isn't something that's important to you, then that's going to speak volumes to your patients, and they probably aren't going to put a lot of value in what you say. So make sure that you're taking care of yourself and you have good daily habits. The second one is confidence. Are you confident as a doctor, as a business owner, as a community member? Are you conscientious of your patients' needs and confident that you are answering their questions and taking care of them the best that you can? Are you courageous? Because courage is like a muscle you can strengthen with use, and moving through fears will help you grow as a person. So you have to use that courage. If you don't like networking events and marketing your practice, then you're going to have to find that courage to go do those things and build that muscle and strengthen yourself as a person and grow as a person, because you are pushing through those fears that you might have now. Are you accepting of ambiguity? There's going to be so many things in practice that there aren't solid, perfect answers for, and you kind of just have to roll with it and make the best judgment that you can at the time. And maybe you've asked questions of teachers in school. I know we did, and it didn't seem like they had good answers for the questions. And I think there are just so many variables to answering a question, and until it's really presented to you, then it's hard to make that choice then. And so you have to be able to kind of live with that ambiguity and just decide, make the best decision at the time and see how it goes, and then fix things as you kind of self-correct things as you move along. And that's going to be really important in practice. And that says a lot about how adaptable you are. Because to do anything great, you have to be able to trust yourself and believe in your capabilities to make those decisions. And success isn't something that just happens, but it's something that you're going to create in all of these processes. And you have to have the confidence to banish any negative voices in your head, not to give up on things you believe in, and most important, not to give up on yourself, and to have that confidence and the courage to see your daily goals and to see the patients and get through those things that maybe you're really unsure about right now. So daily habits, confidence, and the third one is finances. So do you have a healthy relationship with money? Are you spending money? Are you thinking about it conscientiously? Are you only buying things you need, or are you wasting money on things that you don't need? So you want to it's really important to have control of your finances, especially when you're starting, because you may not be making all of the money to support yourself. And so your savings are going to start dwindling. And so you have to be smart about where you are spending money, and you need to be ready for money to flow to you. That's kind of a thing too, is that you need to be ready to accept money and not be greedy and not be stepping on others to get it. So important financial habits are important. And the fourth one is vision. And we've talked about that a lot. Do you have a vision for your life? Are you actively pursuing that vision by focusing on priorities and daily activities that align with the vision that you have? And do you have a goal-setting mindset? So that's really important. We talk a lot about that in episode number 154, so you can go back and listen to that. The fifth one that I'm going to talk about today is happiness, and happiness comes from within. Are you enjoying the journey? Are you optimistic? Are you grateful for the road that got you here and excited for the opportunity of starting your own practice? Are you curious? Do you cope well, learn, and move on easily? And do you have patience? Because things are going to take time, and the more momentum that you can build, the quicker things will come. But there are going to be dips and plateaus, and you're going to have to find that happiness from within and realize that you will get through those moments and succeed as long as you keep pushing through and focusing on your priorities and moving that needle forward. And at times it goes just a little bit, it creeps up a little bit, and other times it moves forward quickly. And you kind of are riding that roller coaster of entrepreneurship. So number 6 is time management. Do you use your time wisely? Are you respectful of others' times? Are you respectful of your patients' times? Are you there early and ready to serve them when they come for their appointments? Are you respectful of the coworkers or other people time in your office and letting them do their work? And are you taking care of your work during your time? So that's really important. Also, keeping on schedule for your patients throughout the day. And are you proactive or reactive? This is something I talk about a lot too. If you are reactive, it means you just kind of open your email and let the day direct you. But if you're proactive, you have your daily big 3, you have your to-do list, and you're ready to attack and focus on your priorities. And are you disciplined? Do you avoid procrastination? I think we all procrastinate at times. I know I do, and I've helped myself by realizing when I am procrastinating that my body needs to recharge, my brain needs to recharge. And so am I doing activities that allow me to do that? Like, am I doing fun things with my kids? Am I going to bed early? And really taking care of myself when I'm, in a sense, procrastinating rather than scrolling through social media and just continuing to burn myself out. So pay attention to that time when you might be procrastinating, that maybe your body needs to rest and relax, and that you're doing that well. Discipline is a bridge between goals and accomplishment. And so we talk a lot about discipline and being consistent and all of those things. So make sure that you are paying attention to time management, your level of happiness, your vision that you have, your financial health, confidence, and your daily habits, and see where you might have room for improvement on those, because to radically change your life, you're going to have to change yourself, or at least change yourself a little by little. And the transition from student to practicing chiropractor requires a lot of great qualities to have in yourself. And you need to be developing those qualities and working on your mindset. That's going to be essential to your ability to transition successfully. And it's not a quick fix. It's just something that you need to work on a little by little, really for the rest of your life. And I found this quote by J.J. Watt. It says, "Success isn't owned, it's leased, and rent is due every day." Because you won't have your best month ever and then the rest of your life is golden. It just doesn't work that way. I wish it did, but you're going to have to work continuously to maintain that momentum in order to keep growing. And not to say that you can't take days off, but in the beginning phase, your pursuits need to be consistent and relentless. And that relentlessness is really what's going to build your practice. And once you have the systems in place to plug another person in and take over some of the duties, then you can start to rest a bit. But initially, your butt is on fire. You have goals and you have a life worth living, and your patients to serve and an office to build. And you really want to be relentlessly pursuing that. So hopefully after listening to this episode, you want to start working on some of these things, right? You want some action steps for building a good, better mindset for yourself. So put pen to paper, setting a vision for your practice, listen to podcast number 154 from us again. And what do you need to get started on that vision? What are your first priorities that are going to help you start knocking away at that vision? The very first pages of the Chiropractor Planner talk about mindset because we think it's the first step to creating practice success, since it's going to affect how you tackle all of these things and the next 4 things that we're going to talk about over the coming weeks. And if you have a plan to open a practice, then look into getting a Chiro Planner. It's a great place to start putting pen to paper. You can learn more about it, chiroplanner.com. The Chiro Planner has helped hundreds of chiropractors get started in practice. It will give you the tools and insight that you need to develop a solid mindset, set your big goals, and walk you through your ideal practice location, the practice structure you might want to use, and even the ideal patient avatar that's going to help you build that practice. And then obviously so much more. There's over 100 inspirational quotes, hundreds of tips, and the 100-day planner to help keep you focused and celebrate your wins. Jot down the genius ideas you have for marketing. So if you need something like that, if that sounds up your alley, check out chiroplanner.com. If you're waiting for someone to buy you the Chiro Planner for Christmas, your birthday, or graduation, make sure you send them that link. Then go to our website and download the free ebook, The 5 Things You Must Know Before Starting a Practice, and start taking notes. A positive mindset means taking advantage of what you do have and making it work for getting you where you want to be. So if you're unsure about the Chiro Planner, maybe you're waiting for one, then start taking notes on the ebook that you can download today at lifestylepracticebuilders.com/ebook. A few months ago, I had the idea to write the book, and using the hindsight from us building, buying, selling, and growing practices, and also helping hundreds of you through that process, I thought about the 5 basic things you must know before you even think about the startup checklist we have inside the foundation. These were 5 things that we nailed that I honestly don't think we would have succeeded without. So use what I know to increase the speed with which you're able to succeed. And there's a lot of work to be done, and checking things off of a checklist and opening your doors is going to be a hell of a lot easier if you have solidly thought about and implemented the action steps that I'm going to give you over the next 5 weeks as we talk about this topic of the 5 things that you must know before you start a practice. Your mindset is everything. So take some time to evaluate where you're at with it and make small, sustainable changes to it over time. Creating a better mindset is a process, not an event. Mindset isn't an all or nothing. It's self-growth over time. So realize that if you have maybe been kind of lazy in the past, you can change. It's all in your power. So please stick with us over the next 4 weeks as we walk through the rest of the things you must know before starting a business. If you want to download the ebook, visit lifestylepracticebuilders.com/ebook, enter your info and receive the download. Rich and I are very focused on getting you all the resources you need to be successful in practice without the cost and outdated processes of expensive management groups. We understand the needs of someone graduating today because we know and talk to you guys every day, and we want to help. When you purchase the Chiro Planner, you also get an online assessments so you can figure out where you're at and what you need to figure out to get open and growing. You also get a one-on-one coaching call with me to dive deep into the one thing holding you back so I can give you strategies for where you're at personally. And if you want a little more feedback as you walk through the process, the foundation is our online membership library that includes many other startup resources for a low monthly fee. You'll also be invited to a private Facebook group where you can ask specific questions and mastermind with others also in the startup phase. And we're not talking thousands or even hundreds of dollars. We want you all to have access to the tools you need to start your own practice because we know it can be done. We've talked students into starting on their own when they thought they needed to be associates first. Starting on your own is a huge task, but it's not insane One student we helped just finish building his own location. Another student we helped was able to revive her small town into a bustling business community. With hard work and a positive attitude, these things are possible. Mindset is just the beginning, and it's a great place to start. Once you can open your mind and accept your ability to grow and do amazing things, then you'll be ready to work on the 4 other things you'll need to be successful in practice. So go download the ebook, hang with us the next month, and let's kick it into gear for 2021. We're excited for you all to be along for the ride, and we're excited to help support you through the process of opening your own practice. Opening your own practice should be exciting, but there are a lot of steps to it. And so we want to guide you through those. Thank you for listening today. And thank you for following along with us on Instagram at Lifestyle Practice. We hope you guys have an awesome weekend, and we'll see you soon.
If you enjoyed this podcast episode, please share it with your friends on Instagram and Facebook. And for those of you who are already subscribers, we really appreciate it. Thanks for the reviews. We love reading those and knowing that you're loving the podcast. If you're looking for more tips and inspiration, be sure to check us out at lifestylepracticebuilders.com or join our business and marketing Facebook group for chiropractors at facebook.com/group/lifestylepractice.